car gets just a little loose, as they say. We prefer to call it oversteer in this country.
50-year-old Bobby Allison of Hueytown, Alabama, has been burning up the Winston Cup trail for 27 years. The leader of the Alabama gang is a triple Daytona 500 winner and also took out the national championship back in 1983. He's a past master of the short tracks with career winnings which have just stretched over the $7 million mark. While racing has been kind to Bobby Allison over the years, he's also taken a few wild rides, like this car-destroying act at Talladega last year. A few weeks later, he came back to win the Pepsi Firecracker 400 at Daytona, just to prove you can't keep a good man down. 88 has been great to date for the Alabama throttle jammer. He opened a fortnight ago by winning the Daytona 125-mile qualifier, and the next day survived some wild wrecks to land the Goodyear 300 Grand National Classic. Day 3, he took the Winston Cup opener in a thrilling last-lap shootout with his own son, Davey. More than anyone else, Bobby Allison wants to be the first NASCAR International winner on foreign soil here today. So place your bets, folks. Heaven knows Mr. Allison is on a roll.
And there's Bobby Allison in for a very quick stop. Right side tyres going on the car. Neil Bonnet goes back into the lead. Very quick pit stop this. Churn of fuel. Bobby Allison
looks pretty relaxed.
To notice, doesn't drive with gloves on. Never did. Noticed that at Daytona a couple of weeks ago as well. His car has been running superbly. Oops, he stalls it. But they'll fire him off and he gets going again. Notice how hard the cars are to get mobile because they're geared so highly for this competition. Ruben Garcia comes to the pits. Ruben, gas only. That was the frantic pit signal that I saw before with our nice team. We spoke with Dave Nelson earlier in our telecast. He's the crew chief. And Ruben was pretty confident that he was going to put in a good, consistent performance, and he's right on the money for that at the moment.
Well,
he certainly is.
In 4th place on the racetrack now.
Jerry Churchill car comes into the pits, the 11 car.
For your 11th pit stop.
This, in fact, is the longest spell we've had in the race without a yellow flag, so I wouldn't imagine it'll be too long before Neil Bonnet in the Valvoline car. As he is, our race leader. They can't get Garcia's car mobile. They're still pushing it down pit lane.
Well, we had a yellow flag briefly on lap 93 and haven't had one since.
Just the Ron Iso, a number 78 car. The car was smoking. Bit of pit activity at the moment. Herschel McGriff coming back out of the pits after his 3rd stop. There's Ron Esau's car. And Neil Bonnet coming to the pits in car number 75. So the race leader, who had a 3/4 lap lead, is rushed in. And standing by is Chris Economaki.
And he comes to a stop. He gets a drink of water. Now, this is an American crew. It's right side tires, refueling. And if it's a green flag the rest of the way, this may well be his last pit stop. Car owner Barbara Hilly working on the right front. The crew is still fueling up, keeping the engine at a nice idle. It's the first green flag, and away he goes. A beautiful stop for Neil Bonnet, who gave up the lead in making it. Back to you, Mike.
Thank you, Chris. That was a very, very well-drilled pit stop for Neil Bonnet. About 20 seconds, excluding the time to run into the pits. Lap 169, and 75 goes into 2nd place, so that's the new leader, Dave Marcus. Dave Marcus, I believe, is still to pit. Correct. Chad Little's pitted, so really Dave is the last one of the top 3 to make his move and show his cards. Well, as soon as he hits the pits, that will put Bonnet back in front and probably Bobby Allison pretty close behind him. It's been the way. It's probably a case of still watching out for the half-century Bobby Allison, though, at the moment. The guy just seems to have the knowledge when it comes to these long races. He took his stop early. He dropped back to 4th. But I have a feeling that we haven't seen the last of him. Dave Marcus has been a professional in stock car racing for about 20 years. 572 career starts, 5 major wins. What about the career earnings? $2.7 million. And at only 46 years of age, he could have the best part of another 15 years to go. That's great. I might slash my wrist. Well, Herschel McGriff, of course, 60 years of age, and he's still enjoying his racing. They do really hang in there. Peter Mackay, though, is in the pits and has this report for us.
Yes, thank you, Michael. One of the sentimental favourites here today was Ron Iso. He ran up hard with the leaders in the early laps, but some bad news now. They've just pushed the car behind the pits. Ron, can you tell us what's the problem?
I think it broke the camshaft in the engine. We won't be able to go back out. I'd like to thank Urbach and McDonald's and everybody for giving me, and the Jim Robinson family for giving me the opportunity to get out here and run hard and win some money for the Jim Robinson Hospital Fund.
Do you know how much you'll get out of this?
I don't know, but I think we impressed a lot of people on the cars capable of running good. Maybe we could sell the car, anything to turn it all into some money for Jim.
And Dave Marcus at the moment is half a lap in front of Neil Bonnet, so it's virtually an impossibility for him to get into the pit lane, make the necessary change and get back out and maintain his lead. And in fact, Dave Marcus is coming in right now. So this is going to be interesting. We'll get the stopwatch lined up and see how effective Dave's crew can be. He almost dived into the wrong pit that time. Now he's set.
Chris Economaki is probably standing by. In the meantime, he'd want to be quick, though, because Dave Marcus, they're going about this quickly. In fact, Dave is keen to get back out there, but they'd like to get the second churn of fuel in there before he takes off. Sort of cribbing just a little bit into the next pit bay, but I think they're ready to go. That was a smooth stop from Dave Marcus.
22 seconds.
Yeah, 71. Neil Bonnet is the race leader from Chad Little. Bobby Allison runs in third. Summer McKnight is fourth, and Dave Marcus is now back to fifth on lap 181. 187 of 280 in the Goodyear 500 coming to you from Calder Park Thunderdome. The highest placed Australian in the field just falls into the pits, but the engine has not been running for the cool-down lap, trying to come in. The hood will come up. That's Jimmy Richards, the Foster's Oldsmobile Delta. There's our race leader. Neil Bonnet going through, but sitting with Bonnet this time as they come down the straight is in fact Herschel McGriff. Now, Bonnet was able to put a lap on McGriff about 2 or 3 laps ago, but he hasn't been able to run away from him.
Yes, Phil Homer saying before that Herschel McGriff was having problems with tyres and blistered a tyre. The other fellow that I've got my eye on that's doing a great job chasing this man, Neil Bonnet, in car 75, is Sumner McKnight in the yellow Ford T-Bird, car number 83. He's coming off turn 4. Well known to motorcycle speedway devotees. They had a very successful career there before he went into NASCAR stock car racing.
He certainly did. In fact, in talking with Sully yesterday, he prefers to forget about those days, but he said he was young and daring. Today he just loves to be a little more relaxed with his racing, and he does it a little bit quicker too. Lap 204 of 280. The yellow flag is a flapping, and we're under caution here at Calder Park Thunderdome. Debris on turn number 3. Officials are out quickly to pick up what appeared to be some metal, get it off the racetrack. Cars who are down a lap go to the inside.
Sumner McKnight made a stop, although I didn't get the watch on it, but it was a routine stop for fuel and tyres. So it throws the whole ball game open again.
Certainly does. I think you'll find that Allison will be back out in front with Neil Bonnet pretty close behind him. Dave Marcus should be back to third. We're getting ready to take the green, and cars pick up the pace. They're off and running. Heading down into turn number 1. Bobby Allison here takes the outside running on Herschel McGriff, but right behind him is in fact Neil Bonnet. There's McGriff's car on the inside as Bonnet now dials right in behind. Race leader Bobby Allison as they stretch it going down the back chute, and breaking up into third is Dave Marcus. They're just clear of Summer McKnight and Bob Howe. That looks like the top 5. And Bonnet is getting serious here. They come off the run down the inside on the tri-oval. Bonnet pulls to the inside of Bobby Allison. They pace it out, door handle to door handle. And in fact, it's Neil Bonnet who goes back into the lead. Bonnet, the 75, Valvoline Pontiac leading. Out of turn number 2, working the back straight here at Calder Thunderdome. They've opened up a little gap at this stage over Dave Marcus, who still runs in third, and they're running away from the rest of the field. The man who started a lap down on them, in fact, Herschel McGriff, sits on the tail of Marcus and giving him some problems. Across the start-finishing line, that familiar blue and white Valvoline Pontiac heads into turn number 1. Neil Bonnet clear. Bobby Allison, probably 2 car lengths back behind him.